All right. Can everyone hear me, y'all? Can y'all hear me? We are live on YouTube. So do me a favor right now, if you can, if you're watching us, if you're hearing us, share the stream with somebody. Let somebody know we started church on Monday today. I'm super excited to be able to get this time with all of you. So tune in. We're just live on YouTube today. We wanted to try something different and just kind of share this space with you guys all, so that we can just kind of be here and just kind of spend this time together. But I want everyone to kind of tune in. Do me a favor, if you can, please share the stream with somebody. Let somebody know that we started church on Monday tonight. Today we're gonna have a very, very interesting conversation. As you can see, my wife is not here. The life of parents, right? Parents, we usually kind of uh, you never know. You never know what can happen. You never know what can, uh, you know, what can occur. So we want to make sure that you get to experience church on Monday. And I do want to be honest. We initially, I spoke to my wife. I said, "Hey, I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do it today." And my wife kind of just said, "Hey, listen. We need to we need to do what we got to do. We need to figure this out." Um, so huge shout out to my wife. I know she's not here. I'm hoping that she can join us eventually, and that we can just kind of get to share this space and get this conversation going. But I want to give you all a couple seconds so you can share this with somebody. Let somebody know. I know I shared the link before, but the link for some reason wasn't working, or we technical difficulties and things like that. But I want to give everyone some time so that we can all kind of share the stream while I kind of get my keyboard ready and get everything ready for y'all. um, so do me a favor, share this with somebody. We are live and direct right now. We are figuring this thing out as we go. And this is what I love about church on Mondays, that we're live. We're live. Amen. So, if you're watching us, wherever you're watching us, please feel free to leave a comment. Let us know where you're watching us from. And then what you're hoping to get out of tonight. Like, what do you want tonight to do for you? Church on Monday is a place where we experience God's grace outside the traditions of Sunday. So while it is important for us to dedicate time to be in the house of the Lord and kind of hear His word and kind of hear from Him, and hear about, receive a word that's going to help us be better. I also think that it's important to kind of have that moment outside of those four walls where we can come and receive a word and just kind of just be good to go. So last week we started on a topic that I want to continue today, which is monsters under the bed. And the reasoning behind this was largely in part because we have created a culture within our systems of church. And I want to say that very carefully, right? Within our systems of church as we know it, we have created a culture of um hide, deal with your things, and the moment those things come out, uh you're there's shame, there's guilt attached to it. And I felt like when I was talking to my wife about it, I said, why don't we dive into some of these things that have been hiding for people under the bed? We've been kind of brushing it off for so long. Let's talk about it. And the first thing that came to our mind was pride. And last week we spoke about so many things. So if you haven't had a chance to go listen to that or hear that out, I want to just recommend you. I want to send you there. Go over there and then come back, and so you can kind of catch the second part. But before I jump in, I just want to pray for all those who are listening, for all those who are there online. Father God, we thank you. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you for meeting us here tonight. We thank you because you are a God of breakthrough. You are a God that heals. You are a God that restores. You are a God that makes all things new. And we are here tonight with the expectation that you have brought us here, not just randomly, but you have brought us here for a reason. You have brought us here for a purpose, because that is the way you work. That is the way you are. That is who you are. You are a father, you are a friend, you are a support, you are a guide, you are everything that we need. And tonight, we just want to thank you for allowing us to have this space. We just want to thank you for allowing us to have this moment. We just want to thank you for allowing us to just to be here. We thank you for your grace. We thank you for your mercy. We thank you because even though we stray away and we distance ourselves from you, your love is always there. You are consistent. You are present. You are that voice that we hear in the middle of the crowd. You are that voice that grounds us, that keeps us safe, that keeps us secure. You are that cover that covers us in cloudy moments, in moments of storm. You are that person that calms the storm, that speaks to our circumstance. You are everything to us. And tonight, we just want to thank you for that we're grateful for everything, for who you are, that even though you're the God of many, the God of the multitude, it still feels like you are a God of one, that you listen to me, and that you know me. You know all of me, my parts, my flaws, my good, the bad, the ugly, and that you still love me the same way. So thank you for that. Thank you for your grace. Tonight, I hope that you speak to our lives the same way you spoke to me, that you speak to everyone who's watching, who's listening, that they may be changed and renewed by this word. In the name of Jesus, we pray. And if you believe that tonight, you can say amen. Um, wow, there's something amazing about being able to just thank God. I think for me, there's moments that we have uh just created a language around prayer and how prayer should sound. There's moments we just gotta thank God for just being who He is. Um, and let's not ask for anything. Let's not, let's just thank Him for who He is and what He's done for us. And what are you grateful for? I know I'm grateful for His grace. I'm grateful because in moments where I am a mess, literally, His grace is consistent. I love that about God, that He's consistent. In a world of inconsistency where it's hot today, cold tomorrow, snows today, rains tomorrow, it's hot today. We serve a God who's consistent, who's constantly there, everlasting, doesn't change, doesn't move, consistent. And I love that. I love that. Let's jump right into it because if I stay on this, we can stay on this for a long time, and there's something I want to share with all of you here. So I wanted to give you a shout outs to everyone who's here connected on YouTube. I know we usually stream on both Facebook and YouTube, but I think we have been kind of debating on like which one's better, YouTube, Facebook, both. Today we wanted to just try just to limit it to YouTube because I feel like it. You can put it on your phone, you can watch it on your TV, you can watch it on a tablet, you can watch it wherever you want to watch it. I know that it doesn't allow really for the commenting ability unless you're watching it on the computer or anything, but I can hear y'all commenting at home. I can hear y'all commenting wherever y'all are. So you guys are fine. Don't worry. But we're gonna talk about this monster today. We're gonna destroy this monster under our bed. We're gonna bring it to light, and that monster is pride. Um, One of the things that stood out to me last week when we spoke about pride was the fact that many people have a struggle with addressing pride because it has been uh kind of dressed up as a good self-esteem. So if I have good self-esteem, um that doesn't mean I'm prideful. I just believe in myself. I just have a high standard of me. This idea of like self-love, radical, so I just love myself. I know who God has called me to be, and in doing that, we teach ourselves to, this ain't pride, this is me putting myself first, this is me giving myself the place that I need, this is me just kind of being who I am. But pride may sound good, may feel good, but pride is poison. It's poison to those who are around us. It's poison to those who know us. It's poison in the church. It's poison in the homes. It's poison in the families. Pride it's a sickness, and if we don't address it in time, it becomes an addiction. And I never want to use this platform to kind of talk about the bad that happen in the church, or just kind of negativity. But I think let's talk about it. This is Church on Monday. It's a place of realness, of truth, of transparency. When we walk into these places, when we walk into these I want to say tabernacles, or these awesome, amazing places where God moves and where we kind of receive and we fellowship. Pride is there. Pride is there. It's there in the way we judge others because they may not sound the way we sound. They may not dress the way we dress. They may not think the way we think. So we fall into this judgment of like, I don't like this. This makes me feel uncomfortable. We see pride in the way our systems of events are made, of the way, just the way our systems have been taking place in our church. A long time ago, I went to an activity, and it was one of those moments where I told myself, you know what, I think I'm moving forward. I'm gonna cut back and kind of just, I'm gonna fellowship in my home church, and it felt like a competition. It felt like everyone was trying to outdo each other. It felt like, okay, it's my turn. I'm gonna tear the house down. It's your turn. You tear the house down. Everyone was trying to give a word and a word and a word and word. And at the end of the night, I'm like, okay, so many words. I don't even know what's going on or what's happening here. I think the biggest indication of somebody who's prideful is that they have a need to impress others. I'm gonna say that one more time. The biggest indication that somebody is a prideful person is that they have a need, or they feel that they need to impress others. And just to kind of, just I want to throw out a verse out there, which is Luke chapter 10, verse 38, right? As they continued to their travel, Jesus entered a village. A woman named Martha welcomed him and made him feel quite at home. She had a sister Mary, y'all know the story, who sat before the master, hanging on to every word he said. But Martha was pulled away by all she had to do in the kitchen. Later, she stepped in, interrupting them. She said, Master, don't you care that my sister has abandoned the kitchen to me? Tell her to do something. Tell her to come in and help me. How would she do that? Jesus told her, Martha, dear Martha, you're fussing far too much and getting yourself worked up over nothing. One thing only is essential, and Martha has chosen it. It's the main course and won't be taken away from her. And Martha was kind of in the kitchen just working. Works. That's what the works does. That's what religious systems create. Work, 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 work. And now we see her sister kind of like at the feet of Jesus, kind of resting. Of like, I'm not gonna work. There's no need for me to impress. There's no need for me to do anything. I just want to listen. I just want to be changed by the word that I'm receiving. And Martha felt some type of way. She said, "Tell her to do something. Why is it that I get stuck doing this and she gets to just sit there? She left me. Tell her to do something." And I think our need to impress people sometimes can make us into Marthas, where we feel the need of like, look what I'm doing. Look at all that I have done in the kitchen to make this house smell good. I'm gonna say that one more time. Look what I have done. My wife just texted me in the middle of a live stream and asked if she can join. Um, I think she can. It'll just I have to take a little quick commercial break, and we'll just have to set up her chair. But so if you see that happen, it's because my wife is coming down to join, and we're gonna set up her mic so she can join. But yes, you can join. She just texted me on live, y'all. But yes, you can join. You can come down here and join. We'll just take a little break, set it up, and then we'll come right back. And you guys won't have to go anywhere. But Martha was basically kind of saying, "Hey, look what I'm doing, and they're not doing what I'm doing. How is that fair?" So I think the need to impress people is not only ruining you, if that's what you're dealing with, that's ruining families, it's ruining ministries, it's ruining so many things, because people's need to impress will take them down a path where they will lose themselves in order to seek the validation of those that are around them. And tonight, I just want to give you a word that you have a design. God designed you a specific way. And in that design, there is a message. And that message will not be for everybody. It will be for a specific group that needs to hear what you have to say. You will not be everybody's cup of tea. You'll walk into places and they'll say, I don't like the way they sing. I don't like the way they preach. I don't like the way they walk. I don't like them. And that's okay because there is a person, a group, a community that God has called you, and your voice will reach them. I never, and I pray this all the time, and I pray that you put this in your heart. You never want to lose yourself in the crowd trying to seek the validation of others. Please. In other words, I want people to be impressed by me and my gifts and what I do. And I want my accomplishments to be known. I need that. I want that. I want people to know who I am. I want people to know. And this idea of like purpose, you have a purpose, you have a purpose, which is nice. We all have a purpose on this earth. We get that. I understand that. I spoke to my brother Brandon, Pastor Brandon Martinez, on the podcast, a while back, and he shared about this. We get it. You have a purpose. Everything has a purpose. The chair has a purpose. We understand that. But there's a problem when that purpose becomes the main thing in your life. And not only that, that purpose now becomes a driving force for you to make decisions, not for the benefit of the gospel, but because you feel like your purpose is important and you want to put yourself out there because what you have is what you have, and it's like and that is not the point. I think miracle, the biggest miracles of the gospel happen outside of the church, outside of the lights, outside of the microphone, outside of the stage. Is where God's biggest work is done. In the middle of the night when nobody's there. Not in the altar call, but maybe when people are driving on their way home, when nobody's seeing that. I think that is the biggest, biggest, most amazing thing that you can do for the gospel. I think COVID um, was a reality check for a lot of people in the world because COVID literally stripped down the church and removed all of the mechanisms that we have used in order to promote, to build a platform. And I think that a lot of people had to kind of sit and be like, oh, wow, who am I outside of this system, of these walls? So I think that we have to really dig deep into ourselves and understand when we do things, are we doing it to impress people? Or are we doing it because we believe that this is what God has called us to do? And this is it, regardless of the if the validation is there, regardless of if the validation is not there, that we feel this is what we need to do. And that can look differently. Clothing, vehicle, furniture, the house, the place, how spiritual you are. Well, I could stay on that for a long time. How accomplished you are, what you know, where you went to school, what you know, what your background is. Come here, you can take this mic. I'm gonna let my wife take over now. Come sit down. Oh, I gotta keep going. This is live. My wife's interrupting. But I think that is kind of where the need to impress comes, and I think we need to kind of begin to speak on that. So I'm gonna take a little quick commercial break. I'm gonna take a little commercial break so that I can have my wife and help her set up with the mic. So don't go anywhere. Stay right there. We're here. We're back.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're still live.
Hi, you guys. I'm sorry, motherhood called. So,
Motherhood is something else. But we were just kind of chatting on pride before you came down here, and we spoke a little bit about what that looks like. When we want to impress others. I want to give you kind of the chance to kind of speak on that a little bit on your part. That need to impress others. Where does it come from?
I think that need to impress others may come from experiences, past experiences that have caused fear, have caused anxiety, um, lack of self worth, and I feel the prideful person hides behind these walls where they're trying to portray something on the outside, but then on the inside, they're dealing with fear, dealing with anxiety, dealing with not feeling worthy because pride is that you're over. Not even, I don't think that that person in themselves oversees or believes that they are better. They're trying to portray a picture or an image of this, but
Yeah.
deep down inside, they don't believe these things.
Yeah.
And I was looking into a verse today that said that for everything in the world, and this is 1 John 2:16, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life comes not from the Father, but from the world. So this act of pride is coming again, like you stated, from our surroundings, our
Hmm.
environments, where we grew up, the experiences that we faced as people, and these experiences built up and formed this person, who's filled with pride.
Yeah. I think that pride is. Oh my God, there's so much we can talk about it, but that need, that experience of not, also kind of pushes us to become, in a sense, kind of performers, um, and that validation becomes sort of an addiction for many people,
Yeah.
even within the church of like, kind of getting that validation, like you did amazing, or you preached really good, and I, even for myself, I think there's been moments where I've preached, and as preachers, like, okay, the message didn't really, nothing moved, right? And you preach that message, and you leave the altar saying, okay, that's not. I guess that wasn't the word. And in those moments, it was the moments where the most people would come up to me and be like, "Hey, that was amazing. Like that really ministered to me." Um, um, there's been times where, like, even for church on Monday, we've had church on Mondays where I've really stopped recording. I said, "Okay, that wasn't a good one. Like I felt like I could have did better." And those are the ones where people be like, "Yo, like I agree with everything you said. Like that was powerful." So I think deep down in all of us, I think we have been taught to that the validation, which is good to receive that applause, is something that we need.
Yeah.
And I think untraining ourselves to be like we're regardless if that's there or not, I think that we are okay.
Yeah.
And we're like that's not important.
And there are two types of prides. There's the pride where you do feel accomplished, you do feel proud of yourself. There is this
Hmm.
healthy, I'm proud because I'm putting in the work and I'm putting in the effort into something, but because there's a purpose behind that drives, you to do these things. But then there's that pride again that just oversees everyone, that pride that isolates you from everyone.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking today, that prideful person, um, they see everything as a competition. They see everything as they need to be better, as they need to um, always perform. Like you said,
Hmm.
they need to always do, and in the doing so much, we that prideful person isolates themselves
Yeah.
because they can't listen to anyone because they've blocked their ears from any judgment, from any criticism, positive criticism that somebody may have for them, and it causes this person to basically isolate themselves and figure everything out on their own and want to do everything on their own and be self-sufficient, be
Yeah.
self-reliant.
I think that's so powerful. I think that um we pride shows up in many ways, and I think when we remove God from the equation, we say, "Hey, you know, whatever. Like I don't need you. And I had a point there, but I'm not gonna touch speak on it because I do want to. Next week we have a special guest, and I want to make sure that we're gonna expound on this next week with this special guest. I want to announce it now. I'm gonna announce it maybe in the middle of the week so that we can kind of build the hype because I'm excited to have this person on. Pride doesn't make you teachable. Like you're not a teach. A prideful person is a person that's you cannot teach.
Yeah.
Remember that saying that you can't teach a dog an
An
old
old
dog
dog,
new
new
tricks.
tricks.
Pride doesn't let you teach nothing, whether they old, young. Like you just prideful. You're like I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. And sometimes we even say that to God. Like I already know. Like I already know what you're gonna say. I already know what you're gonna do. Like I already know. Like I already know. I already know the Bible verse. I already know the sermon. I already know. And what can God really work? So sometimes we gotta think ourselves like, is our pride or our knowledge of, has that been a barrier for God to really work in our lives?
That's true.
Because we don't see Him the way we want to see Him. We see Him differently. Our pride completely shuts that down. Like, no, I'm not. I don't want this.
Yeah. And I think that that pride stems from resistance.
Mm.
Whenever we have like change or a situation or a life event, happen to us or around us, um, there's some sort of resistance because we're comfortable, or because this is my safe space, or because
Yeah.
this is what I know, this is my knowledge, what I know to do. I move great here, you know. But there's that resistance in going against, in a sense, what God wants you to do, what the full purpose of it, of life.
Mhm.
And there's that resistance there, and that brings up about pride, because you're saying, hey, like, I'm gonna resist to this because this is what I want to do. I feel comfortable here. I feel like I can do it all. I know it already. I've been doing this for X amount of years. I've been doing this for X amount of time. I'm experiencing this. I
Mhm.
don't need to learn because I've got the degree. I don't
Yeah.
need to learn because I've got the work experience. I don't need to learn because I've been doing this for so long. So there's that resistance there.
Yeah. I think that this is an awesome series that we're gonna keep it going of monsters in the bed. I think we stayed on pride. And but next week I want to talk. I really want to. I'm excited about next week because we're gonna dive into how pride shows up in ministry. For leaders, pastors, ministers. I want to really dive into that because I think that's a very important topic. But I want to just kind of, because we're gonna wrap up. Just kind of give Michelle the last word of like um to speak to someone who's kind of struggling with pride. Like, what would you tell them?
Um, well, I mean, I know I overheard you speaking about Martha.
Uh-huh.
And I guess what I have to say is, because in that story, where Jesus is present, you know, Jesus wanted Martha to have an encounter. That was an opportunity, a moment where Jesus wanted and needed Martha to experience encounter.
Uh-huh.
And in the midst of that encounter, in the midst of him being present, Martha was too focused in the doing.
Yep.
Um, that in just referring to us when we're so too much in the doing, performance driven,
Yeah.
this robs us of the opportunity to have encounter with God.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're struggling with pride, because I'm 100% sure that we don't want to be prideful. Yes, it does feel good to the flesh, but deep inside our soul, we don't want to be prideful. We want to feel important. We want to feel needed. We want to feel as if we're useful. Deep down, I know that this is what a person that's struggling with pride needs,
Mm-hmm.
the lack of self-worth.
Yeah.
Surrender that pride to God and put those walls down and say, hey, God, like, behind these walls of pride, this is what I'm really struggling with. This is where my pride stems from. I have low self-esteem. I'm not really confident in myself. I've been compared.
Mm-hmm.
This is, because this is what pride hides. That's the reality of it. So if we're just honest with God and let him know, hey, like, this is the root of my pride. I surrender my pride to you, God. So, like that, you may work in me, and I may not be able to miss that opportunity and have a true encounter with you and what you want to do in my life.
That's good. I want to end on that note. I think that was really good. That was amazing. For those who are watching, please continue to support us. Continue to share this stream. Continue to send this to people that you want to benefit. I also want to extend the invitation because we're gonna stay on this for a while. Of different monsters that you think we should talk about. We've been on Pride for a little bit, and we can stay on Pride for a whole year if we wanted to. But I want to talk about different things, and there is nothing off the table. Listen to me, y'all. Anything y'all want to talk about, any monster you feel like, okay, I wanna address this. Maybe it's something that you maybe struggled with or you've seen. Please let us know. And we'll talk about it. Let's jump right into it. Let's have real conversations. Let's have church outside the walls, and let's get to the bottom of it so that we can be better people, better believers, better Christians. Just be a better overall. So thank you all for tuning in tonight. Thank you all for being here. We are always, whenever we don't stream, we're always like the one stream coming back is always like a warm up of like, okay, we're gonna get back to it. We're gonna get back to it. So next we have a special guest that I'm really excited about, and I hope that those who are tuned in today will tune in next week, to kind of receive a word, because I know that God is gonna speak, and it's gonna be amazing. So we will see you all next week on church on
Yes.
Monday, same time, same channel.
Have a good
Have a
night.
good night, and God bless you all.